Hello everyone, this is Prabhat Kumar once again. Welcome back to Priyan classes. Today I am taking this video for 11th standard on the topic of probability. It is a very interesting topic and very interesting subject. You will be liking this. And since there are more and more concepts and more specific problems related to this, so I shall be taking 3 videos on this. First 2 videos will be for the concepts on the on the formulas or on the derivations for the subject, and one video I have decided to discuss with you some specific or typical problems related to probability. So before I start, I would like to give you some basic concepts on probability. First thing, what is meant by probability? Now, if you see, suppose that you have got 2 colleges. There is one college A and there is one college B. Okay, you are applying for both the colleges, for admission in both the colleges. Now see, what is the comparison? Basically, the numerical value of probability is required to make the comparison or decide what should be which is more probable and what is your possibility of getting the thing done. Suppose that in college A, the number of applications is 10,000. Okay. College B also receives number of applications 10,000. But college A has got 100 seats or 100 vacancies, and college B has got 50 vacancies. The moment you see, you can easily say that more easy will be to take admission in college A if they both of them are of same reputation, because the number of applications received by them are same, but they are selecting 100 people and they are selecting just 50. So what will be the more chances of getting admission? That will be in college A. But suppose that the statistics change. College B, it has also got, it has been receiving only 5,000 applications, and it has got 100 vacancies too. Now, obviously, in this case, because there are lesser number of applications, so more chances of getting admission in college B. But this will tell you what, that since this college is receiving only 5,000 applications, that means there is a change in reputation of the colleges. Okay, so just looking at this, if you don't see the number of applications, if you don't know the number of applications, you know both colleges are having 100 vacancies. Okay, so you will not be able to know in which college you are having more chances to get admission. So this is why we need probability. Here you are saying that probability is directly proportional to the number of vacancies. Okay, so your probability, I can say, is directly proportional to the favorable chances. Okay, it is directly proportional to the favorable, because the number of vacancies, favorable chances or favorable cases, I can say. Okay, the more is the number of vacancies, more is the chances of you getting the admission. Okay, and this is inversely proportional to the total number of cases. That means the moment you see the total number of applications, because the students will be selected from these applicants only, when the number of applications decrease, your chances increase. Okay, similarly, suppose that if I have got a third college C, and there also they are getting 10,000 vacancies, and they are having 200 seats, 200 vacancies. And if you have to compare these two, see, from 5,000 they are giving 100, from 10,000 they are giving admission to 200. So how will you compare these two? So you have to go by this formula. So when I combine, I get probability is directly proportional to number of the favorable cases divided by total number of cases. So this is what probability or the numerical value of probability means. Okay, so this was the thing that why I have told you, because you should know why we are calculating probability, or why the formulas have been given to you, or why this chapter has been included in your syllabus, to know how to calculate the probability in different cases, in different conditions, in different environments. Okay, now before I proceed, I will give you some specific terms that are required with the probability. Okay, so the first term that I will give you is the experiment. Experiment, or as I have told in the example that I have given just now, total number of cases, total number of experiments. Okay, so if the operation which would produce some outcomes, not necessarily favorable, it may be unfavorable also, the experiment or the operation that is producing, that is giving you the outcome, that is called experiment. For example, in the example which I have taken, the number of applications applying in the examination or applying in the for admission in the college is the experiment. Similarly, if you are throwing a dice, just throwing a dice, it is having 6 possible outcomes. Any numbered phase 1 to 6 can come out. That is the outcome. But the throwing of dice is called the experiment. If you are drawing a card from a pack of cards, a pack of cards has got 52 different cards. So obviously any one of those 52 cards can come out. So what is the probable total number of outcomes? 52. But the experiment is drawing a card. So this is what is called experiment. Then there is one deterministic experiment. What is the deterministic experiment? That when the outcome is definite, when the outcome is definite, you know what will be the outcome. For example, if you are throwing a dice, you don't know what is the outcome. You don't know what is the outcome. Any number can come 1 to 6. But if you are knowing, if you have to say, if your outcome, your desire is to get any number less than or equal to 6, any natural number get less than or equal to 6, or any natural number less than or equal to 10, that is definite. When you are throwing a dice, any number will be less than or equal to 6. So this is a definite experiment. So this kind of experiment is called determinative experiment, and then other is called random experiment. Or this is also called probabilistic. This is also called probabilistic experiment. Here comes the role of this chapter. Random experiment, where you don't know what will be the outcome. It may be favorable to you, it may not be favorable to you. Okay, so that outcome is called, that type of experiment is called random experiment or the probabilistic experiment. Now, what these outcomes are called? These outcomes are called, what it is? As I told you, it may be favorable, it may not be favorable. Okay, so these are called elementary. For example, if you are throwing a dice, what is the all possible outcomes? You can get number 1, you can get number 2, you can get number 3, you can get number 4, you can get number 5, or you can get number 6. So you have got 6 possible outcomes. So the set of all possible outcomes, or the collection. What is set? Set is a collection. So collection of all possible outcomes is called an elementary experiment. Okay, or elementary, sorry, it is not called elementary experiment, actually it is elementary event. Each event is, everything is an event. So elementary event, so it may be favorable, it may be not favorable. Then sample space. This is the set of all elementary events. So when you take the collection of all the events, this is called sample space. Now I would like to take one specific problem. Okay, so this is the question. Now this question is typically, you will see that it has got some conditions also. I have taken this to make you understand how do we define a sample space, how do we define all events. Okay, so the question is, a coin is tossed, what will be possible outcomes? Either heads or tails. Now it is saying that if the result is head, then a dice is thrown. Remember, what does it say? If the result is head, then the dice will be thrown. But if the result is tails, that means game is over. There is no further operation. Okay. Similarly, in the second case, if the die is not head, if the dice is giving an even number, because dice will not be giving you heads or tails. So if the result is even number, then the dice will be thrown again. Okay. Now, if it gives odd number, then obviously again the game is over. So how will we get, what will be the elementary events, or what will be the elements of the sample space? That you see, the coin is tossed. Okay. If the result is tail, game is over here only. Okay. If the result is head, then the die is thrown. Okay. Now again there is two possibilities, either there will be even number or there will be odd number. If it is an odd number, the game is over. So if you are getting, in the second case, h1, the game is over. If you are getting after heads, you are getting 3, again game is over. And if after h you are getting 5, again the game is over. Okay. Now if you are getting an even number, then the dice is thrown again, and in this case you will be getting 6 outcomes. Okay, 6 possible outcomes. So you can get h21, you can get h22, Similarly, for if you are getting in the second chance, if you are getting 4, again you will be getting like this, H4 6. Similarly, if you are getting 6, then you will be getting H6 6. So these are the all possible outcomes. So what is the number of sample space? That is very important thing. What will be the number of sample space? You see, this is giving one outcome. This is giving 3 outcomes. And these are giving 6 multiplied by 3, 18 outcomes. So total number of outcomes is what? 18 plus 3, 21, and then 22. So NS will be 22. Now, as per the conditions, you can see what will be your probable. What is your probability, or what is your requirement for which you want to find out the probability. Okay, so let's proceed now. About the event, as I told you, there is one, each one is the elementary event of this complete sample space. Now, what is, when I say only event, in the event, that is, event means it is the favorable cases, it is number of favorable cases. Okay, now an event is a subset of the sample space, I can say. Okay, an event is a subset of a sample space, or it is all the favorable cases, a collection of all the favorable cases. As I have told you, I have been giving you some specific terms. Okay, let me continue on that part only, that some specific terms are given. So what I am giving you is event. Event is what? The collection of favorable cases. Or favorable outcomes. Obviously, it will be a subset of S. S denotes the set of sample space, or the collection of all the cases. So S is event is a subset of S. Now again, there are some kinds of events. Like if I say certain event, if I say certain event, or it is also called sure event, means when you know this is definitely this is going to happen, when you are getting an output, and if you know that definitely the outcome is, as I have told you earlier, what was deterministic experiment. If it is a deterministic experiment and you know the outcome, or the outcome is definite, then it is called sure event. Okay, so in that case, E will be same as S, or I can say NE will be same as NS. Okay, or in this case, what will be the probability? Probability, as we usually say in common words, it is 100% probable. When we say it is 100% probable, what do we mean? We mean that the outcome is definite, and in that case, that is the maximum probability, that is 1, because probability is what? As I told you, NE, number of favorable cases, divided by NS, and if these two are equal, so the result will be 1. So remember one thing, just always keep in mind, if you are getting, if in any of your answer, if somehow you are getting the probability to be more than 1, that means there is something wrong in your solution. Probability can never be more than 1. 100% probability means probability is equal to 1. Okay, so this is certain event. There is one impossible event. Okay, or null event. You know what is null set? Null set is a set which is not having any element. So if the probability of an object, if there is no favorable case in the result, okay, there is no favorable cases, then this will be represented by 5, as we have been representing the null set in your other classes. Okay, so null set is obviously what will be n5? That will be 0. So probability of 5, that will also be 0. Why? Because just now see the logic. Probability of getting a favorable outcome and probability of not getting a favorable outcome, both are just opposite. Obviously, if I say it is 15% or 40% probable, that means there is 60% probability of not getting the result. So 40 plus 60, we always, how do we calculate? Just subtract it from 100. Similarly, here also, the probability of getting the favorable outcome and probability of not getting the favorable outcome. So obviously, if you are in this case, if the probability of getting a favorable outcome is 0, that means it is 100% sure, or it is a certain event that I am not getting the favorable outcome. If I am not getting, so probability of not getting a favorable outcome is 1. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So total probability will be 1. Okay. Now let's proceed further. Now there are some other kinds of events like mutually exclusive. It is not necessary. There are some events like mutually exclusive event. What are mutually, if you remember the set theory, you know what are mutually exclusive. I will explain it with the help of Venn diagrams also. These are the events, means occurrence of one event or means that the other event has not occurred. When it is sure, for example, in Venn diagram, if this is the sample space of, or it is the outcomes in respect of A, and this is the outcome in respect of B, and this is the total sample space. Okay, so if I am selecting one outcome from A, that means I am not selecting that any outcome from B. It has not been selected from B. If I say one item is selected from B, that means it has not been selected from A. So these two are what? Mutually exclusive events, where occurrence of one means non-occurrence of other. In the course of getting solutions, you will get so many such kinds of cases where this will be such kind of question you can get. For example, if I will give you just a small example. If you are throwing a dice, okay, if you are throwing a dice, obviously there are two events. Suppose that getting an even number and getting an odd number, okay, or just take one thing. I will take the example, throw a dice, okay. In the first case, I am taking A as getting an even number, okay, and B is getting a multiple of 3, okay. So what is A? Set of even number, that is 1, sorry, it is even number, so it is 2, 4 and 6. And what is B? Multiple of 3, so it is 3 and 6. Now see, there is one element common in both. So occurrence of A is not sure that B has not occurred. If I have taken 6, then that means B is also satisfied. So other condition has also been favorable. So these are overlapping. So these are not mutually exclusive. But similar way, if I get the condition that A is getting an even number and B is getting an odd number. Now in this case, A will be 1, 2, 4, 6 and B will be 1, 3, 5. In this case, we are seeing that nothing is common in between these two. So if A is favorable, that means B is not favorable. If B is favorable, that means A is not favorable. So these are mutually exclusive events. Okay, so these are the mutually exclusive events. Now there is one condition may be added to this, and that is mutually exclusive and exhaustive event. Now what does this mean? Mutually exclusive and exhaustive event. That means first thing, they are mutually exclusive, and the second thing, they are exhaustive also, because there is no other element in the sample space which is not belonging to either event A or event B. All the elements have been included either in element A and element B. Second thing, and the first thing was that if the element is contained in element A, in event A, it is not in B. If it is in B, it is not in A. So these type of events are called mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Okay, there is for example, as I have told you that in this case, the throw of dice. The throw of dice was that event of getting even number, and other was getting an odd number. Obviously, you are getting these two are, when you compare these two sample spaces, then what does this mean? It means that no other case is possible. All the elements have been included. So these two are not only mutually exclusive but also exhaustive events. Okay, now there is one more thing, that is a compound event. What is a compound event? A compound event is what? When you are getting combination of two events. Combination means two events should simultaneously occur. For example, I am throwing dice for 2 times, or I am taking 2 dice. Okay. So probability of getting combined or all sample spaces in some cases, when it is not feasible, when it is also seen that one of dice may go out of the board, and if it is going out of board, it will not be taken in that case. So in such cases, what is the number of, you are getting first thing, nothing is possible, all are no. So in this case, if you are getting number of, how do we find out total number of compound event? That is a very important thing. Okay, suppose that you are getting two things, like two outcomes are possible, either it will be A or it will be B. Okay, so if it is A and B, out of these two are, you have to choose. So what you choose, either nothing is there 1, no outcome comes. Either you take A, either you take B, or you take AB. So these two are giving just 1. Event is favorable, and this is a combination of 2. So such events are called compound events. Similarly, if I am getting A, B and C, either I will not be getting any one. I will get A or B or C or AB or BC or CA or ABC. Okay. First 4 are single events, but the other 4 are called the compound events. And if you have to find out these, how will you find out? Okay, so for that, the sample space or the event is, how do you get is the number of compound events in any case will be, you see, what will be the total number of cases? If you go on calculation, I will give you how do we get it. What we get is NC0 if you have to not select any one of them. Okay, not A, not B, not C. Okay, then if when I have to select one of them, that will be NC1. Okay, if I have to select 2, then this, and like this I can go up to n. Whatever is the n is the number of elements, so NCN. Okay, now what this is, this, if you go on expansions of the formula, if you go on linear expansions, if you go on calculate, you will get that this is equal to 2 raised to power n. Okay, but out of these two cases, specific these two cases, all other are having combination of more than one. So these two cases are which we are not taking. Okay, these two cases are which we have to take, either it is a null or it is a combination, it is just taking one single event. So n of a compound event will be equal to total 2 raised to power n minus NC0 or and minus NC1. So this is what 2 raised to power n, NC0 is 1 minus NC1 will be n. So I can say 2 raised to power n minus n plus 1. This will be my formula. Okay, so this is how to get a compound event. Okay, now there is one. Now we come on to probability. Okay, so when I come to probability, I will take start with an example. Okay, now I have explained you what is probability, that is number of favorable cases over total number of possible outcome, that is the sample space. Okay, now let's take an example, and in the same example I will be using different conditions, and that will explain to you how to get the probability in different cases. Now suppose that it said an urn contains 9 red, 7 white and 4 black balls. Okay, 2 balls are drawn at random. Find the probability that both are red. Okay, till now there is everything. Okay, you have to draw 2 balls obviously. So what will be the total number of cases out of these 20? So total number of balls is what? 9 plus 7 plus 4. That is 20 balls are there. Out of this you have to take out any 2 balls. So that means you have to select 2 balls, or you are getting a combination of 2 balls. So what will be that possibility? So that is the total number of cases. Total number of cases will be equal to what? 20, or I can say it as selection of 2 balls from 20 So this will be 20C2. Okay. So this is what? NS. Okay. Now my favorable event is what? Both are red. Okay. That means in the first draw, when I take out the first ball, it should be red. When I take out the second ball, it should be red only. So in how many ways I can get? If I have to get one ball, that means ki I have to select one ball from this group of 9 balls. So my first condition will be NA will be what? In first case, I have to take one ball from these 9 red balls, so this will be 9C1. And simultaneously, in the second case also, I have to take one red ball out, but the number of red balls remaining is what? One has already been taken out. So now the remaining is 8. So multiplied by 8C1. So this is my NA. Okay, so this is my NA. That means, or I can say instead, I can also write it directly as I have to select both the balls from these 9 balls. So I can write it as 9C2. So my NA is, so what will be my probability? My probability will be NA divided by NS, or 9C2 divided by 20C2, and rest is your calculation. So this is one way how to find out the probability. Okay, now if I change the condition, okay, if I change the condition and the condition is saying that one of the ball is white, one ball is white. Okay. Basic thing is same. Only thing is that one of the ball is white. Not necessary what will be the color of the other. Okay. If one ball is white, so other has to be of some other color. So if I say this, in this case, my A is what? What is this A? One ball is white. So my NA will be what? Selection of one ball from these 7 white balls. Okay, so that will be 7C1. Then other ball has to be selected from the remaining balls. What is the remaining? 9 plus 4, that is 13 balls. So it is 13C1. Correct. Okay. So what do we get now? This is what? So my probability will be now 7C1 multiplied by 13C1 divided by 20C2. Whatever is your calculation now. This is what is in the second part. Now in the third part, I will again change the condition only. Okay, now from the same question, I have changed once again the condition. Now the condition is that both the balls should be of the same color. It is not given which color. Color may be red, color may be white, color may be black, whatever is this, but both of them should be of the same color. So NS, as usual, my sample space will be same, selection of 2, but now the event A, or I can say N of event A, what will be? As I told you, it will be either 2 red or 2 white or 2 blacks. So as I have explained you in the chapter of combinations, that if there is permutations also, combination also, if there is the word comes or, then it has to be added. Okay, so 9 red or 7 white. So all three possibilities I will be taking, and I will add up all the possibilities. So what I get is that selecting, if I am getting red balls, that means I have to select 2 red balls. So that will be 9C2. Okay. If I am selecting 7 white balls, I have to add, it will be 7C2. If I have to take 2 black balls, it will be from the 4 black balls, that will be 4C2. So this is my NA, and in this case my probability will be 9C2 plus 7C2 plus 4C2 divided by 20C2. Remember, in each and every cases I don't want to go on the calculations, because I expect that all of you can calculate. If you are getting this expression, you can calculate. I'm expecting that you have understood the chapter of combinations, you have understood what is the meaning of this 4C2, what is this. So I am not going further to make the video a little bit short. Okay, so now I will take one more condition in the same thing, that one is white and other is red. Okay, if the condition says that one ball is white and other ball is red. Now see, there is the word and comes. So in that case, obviously my sample space will be same, NS will be same, but what will be NA? Selection of 1 white ball from the 7 white balls, that is 7C1. Then it will be multiplied by selection of 1 red ball from the 9 red balls, so this will be 9C1, and my probability then coming out to be 7C1 into 9C1 divided by 20C2. So this is the very simple way how to calculate the probability. Now I expect all of you to go through the chapter, and as I had told you earlier in the video that I will be taking 3 classes, but as I am seeing that the video is getting too much longer, so just taking 3 classes, I think 3 classes I will have to take only for giving you the complete concept of this chapter, and I may need a 4th class also for discussing with some specific kinds of problem which may be having some specific condition. So for that purpose I will be doing another video on this very soon, or most probably within one day. Okay, so till then I once again request all of you, please keep practicing, go through the chapter, do the simple problems given in your books, and specifically I advise all of you, never give up the book prescribed by CBSE or the book published by CBSE. That is the most important book, and that book is giving you the best concept. Okay, so and also I request all of you, please like my channel, press the bell icon and subscribe, so that you can get notification of my upcoming video on this topic as well as on other topics. Okay, so till then, goodbye.